joined by the former Assistant Secretary of State for Political-Military Affairs, Mr. Mark Kimmitt. Mark, always good to have you on the show, sir. So why has this come about now, Mr. Kimmitt? Is it mission accomplished for the United States in Iraq?
Well, first of all, this is all in the context of the Strategic Framework Agreement, which was signed by both parties in 2008. Every year we have these discussions. They cover a host of areas: economic, energy, diplomatic, and of course security. So the highlight of this strategic dialogue is, of course, the security issue, because there's a lot of pressure on Prime Minister al-kadhimi to reduce the number of American combat troops inside of Iraq.
Now, of course, you know Iraq very well, Mr. Kimmitt. Are the Iraqi security forces up to the task of keeping the country safe?
Well, I think the consensus view between the two militaries is that there are enough ground troops, there are enough mechanized vehicles. Where they are really short is intelligence capability and also some training capability. The center point for our discussions right now are, will those advisory and training capabilities and the logistics support be thrown out, or will they be allowed to stay on a technical basis, or is it just the combat troops that will be departing?
And what's your feeling there? Will that sort of counterintelligence element, will that remain?
Well, again, there's a view that that can be provided from over the horizon in another country in the region and just sent to the Iraqis in their headquarters. But I think most people recognize having that side-by-side intelligence analysis and collection is necessary. So this is going to end up being more of a political decision than a military decision. If purely a military decision, both the Iraqi military and the U.S. military would say, let's keep the technical people there.
Yeah, and just more broadly then, and finally, Mark, I wonder if you can just have a thought about what this tells us about U.S. foreign policy at this moment in 2021. This comes, of course, hard on the full withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. There's an announcement that's going to come later of the full withdrawal of troops from Iraq. So is America's role as the world's policeman now completely over?
Well, I think inside of Iraq exclusively, this is a convergence of two events. Yes, it's the Biden policy to reduce the footprint of American troops in both Iraq and Afghanistan. But at the same time, it must be seen in the context of increasing Iranian pressure inside of Iraq to get the American troops out. That should not change the footprint that we have in the other countries in the region, in Bahrain, inside of Qatar, and Kuwait. Although I would expect in the intermediate future, the president will look at those and see if he can see some force reductions there. Because yes, the Americans will still continue to be the world's policemen, but they just won't be doing it with footprints overseas.
Perhaps not. Okay, Mark Kimmitt, always appreciate your analysis. Thanks for being with us.